Hello, cohorts. Jason Latiolas. We're going to test today the difference between ROE and how it affects a company's earning per share. So what I did was I went through and I picked random companies, about 30 of them, from different industries. As you can see, you got Ford, Nike, Rite Aid, AT&T, Boeing, Caterpillar. So I just kind of went and picked just a variety of different companies to see how their return on equity, as we know, that's the way how well they're managing our money as investors, the equity was in the company, and to see if higher ROE would in turn create higher earnings per share. So as you can see, I have it broken out by the company, the name of the company, the symbol of the company's ROE as a decimal, and then what I did was I pulled the earnings per share for the last year, and then I pulled the earnings per share as an average over the last 3 years. So the first test I did was a regression for the 1 year. So I pulled the information, and obviously my theory is the higher the ROE, the higher the earnings per share. So down here, if you look at the T-stat, as Dr. Cresson stated before, that a 1.65 is your baseline. Well, obviously this one's a 5.27, which is higher, which means that the higher the ROE, the higher the earnings per share after 1 year. If we come over to the p-value, the p-value is obviously much less than 0.01. It's 1.38 to the negative 5 decimals, so it's pretty small. So we see significance here in at least this test for the first year. So went on and did the regression for the 3-year average, and while it's not as high, as you see, the T-stat is a 3.11, not as high as the 5.27, and we also see that the p-value is 0.004, lower than the 0.01 that we would expect. So this is telling me, at least with the regression test, that there is significance here, that ROE, the higher the ROE, the better that the company is managing the investors' money, that the higher the earnings per share. So those two tests alone don't prove anything. So I went and did the t-test, and what I did was I pulled the t-test for the 1 year earnings per share. I took the 15 lowest, which will come back over here. We got the 15 lowest over here, which Apache, US Steel, Hyatt, Caterpillar. We got some ROEs in the negatives, so not doing a very good job with our in the investors' money. And actually, if you look over here, you can see the earnings per share are in the negatives as well. So I pulled the 15 lowest, and then I pulled the 15 highest. The beer guys are doing pretty good. Sam Adams, Western Union, they're giving people money, and so Boeing, Lockheed. It looks like our plane developers, plane makers are doing really, really well. And Yum Brand, they make all kinds of food products. So taking that info, I went and did a t-test to show the 1 year high and the 1 year low. So pulling that, you can see that the low ROEs for 1 year, they lost about $3.68 a share, earnings per share. The high for the 1 year, they made $4.61. So this is a huge swing. So obviously we're doing something's right here. My T-stat is less than the 1.65, is a negative 1.98, and your P-test is below 0.01. So there is significance here. I mean, this really right here shows a lot. So let's see what it would be for 3 years. So I took the 3-year low, earnings per share low, the companies that had the lowest earnings, the lowest ROE, and then I took the companies with the highest ROE. And you'll see it's not as big of a swing, just like we saw in the regression, not as big of a swing. So over the 3-year, the companies with the lowest earnings per share earned a positive 97 cents per share, while the 3-year companies with the 3-year ROE of a high earned 4.32, which if you come back over here, it looks like over the 3-year period, not as bad. They actually made money in the long run. T-stat, you got significance, minus 2.78. So there is a difference here. If you look at your one-tail P, right here, 0.0049. So there is significance here. So in closing, it appears that the companies that are managing our investor money, ROE, are showing higher earnings per share, which, you know, that was the hypothesis, and apparently that's the case. So this is Jason Latiolas signing off to all the finance experts. Thank you.